Chat, let's do it. Let's rock and or roll. We are back with the Kraken. I thought my stream was going to die there for a second. Looked like it was. We're ready for another season. Again, we are, I'd say, getting closer to the end of this. Again, I have my new idea in mind, and we'll be going with that sometime relatively soon. But for now, we focus on the task at hand, which is seeing what these beautiful boys can do. And hopefully the answer's a lot. We got some high hopes with Callie Olesen, Shane Wright, and now a 97 overall Billy Sutton, which is an incredible top line. Kachuk is with Zach Schneider, director's cut. And Eric Patan, 20 years old, gonna get the opportunity to hopefully dominate. I mean, he's a pure shooter as well. So hopefully he'll do really well. Third line's Panarin, McMichael, Yamamoto, which is hilarious. And in 5 sets, Justice Ho and Jacob Melanson make up the fourth line because it's time for those guys to kind of prove themselves. The defense, Medvedev, McDonald, Niazov, Chernak, Chikrin, Kasparaitis, which is also hilarious. Another +5. Again, tough to look at. Goaltending-wise, it's still Holden and Wallstead. Of course, Holden is our lovely X-Factor goalar. So, I'm excited. By the way, Nolan Patrick and Ristolainen are healthy scratches. Of course, there was the whole deal with the players in the AHL. It is what it is. Let's do this, man. Again, I'm excited for this season. I am hopeful that we find ourselves back in the mix in the playoffs. We had a decent playoff run last year. It fell short of our ultimate goal, though. So we'll see what we got. And the scout thing just reminded me, I don't think I redid my scouts. We also don't have an AHL goalie coach. Let's look to change that up. Guess we'll go with Matthew Stempniak. Why the hell not? Shout out to the Stempniak. And for our scouts... Oh yeah, totally forgot to redo this. Damn. Alright, well hey, this will take a second, but what are you gonna do? Do I adjust sliders for injuries? Yes. I personally don't mind it being on a 50 and having to do more line management, but it does not make for the most interesting content at some points in time. So, yeah, I'll often decide against having injuries pop up all the time. Not having a goalie coach submarines your goalie stats? Yes. It's very tough to get a high-rated goalie coach, too. Very, very tough to get a high-rated, like, natural goalie coach. We need a U.S. West. My goalie whispering's off for tonight. Fair enough. I don't blame you for maybe taking the night off. It started off so well, Icon, and then... Fortunately, it didn't continue. We need an NLA scout. Injury lengths need to be oh yeah, AJ, the way injuries work in general in franchise need to be completely revamped. Like 100% revamped. Alright, last scout here. We'll go to Russia. And we will be good to go. Sweet. So our scouts are good for the year. Well, let's see what happens with this team. As per usual, we'll go about a month and a half into the year. The season actually, yeah, it started middle of the month. We can go to the first. Let's be overreactionary. Stempniak signed, which is glorious. Glorious indeed. And about a 500 start. McIntyre goes down to injury in the AHL. Kasparaitis doesn't get hurt. You think we win the cup? You might not be wrong. We're 4-5-1. Callie Olesen leading the team in points and presumably in goals. Okay. Let's go another month. We'll give the team a little bit of time, settle in. Again, we're going to see if those young players can get the job done. If they can't, well, Klim Kostin and company will be on their way up to the NHL level. That is our safety net, and in that way we don't have to go out and spend a ton at the deadline to keep this team somewhat competitive. But yeah, we are hanging in and around 500 right now. Good year for the rookies, apparently. Best start to the season that we've ever had, though. 12-9-2. Not horrific. We're right in the mix. But Artemi Panarin on the third line leading this team in points is scary. Olsen has 18 points in 23 games. Shane Wright has 13 points. Sutton has 16. Olsen, Wright, Sutton does not work. Kachuk has 13 points. 7 for Schneider. 6 for Patan. I need to turn down Schneider's fighting. My God. Third line, 19 points for Panarin. 18 for McMichael. A solid 13. So we know that Connor McMichael can hang. And if Fisette has 14 points on the fourth line, 6 for Ho, and 6 for Melanson. Well, we're going to reunite Old Reliable of Kachuk, Wright, Sutton. Olesen will be down on that second line. We're going to go with McMichael and Panarin. And then the third line, we're going to give Patan another opportunity. He'll be with Schneider and Yamamoto. And it's his last real opportunity here for Patan. We're going to give him another month. If I'm not mistaken, he's already gone up a point. What's down a point? I think it's gone up at this stage. The other fourth liners haven't been that bad. Defensively, Medvedev. Next to McDonald, who was not Eric Brandstrom. Damn. Niazev's been okay. Chernak's been a little bit disappointing. Chikrin's been good. Kasparaitis has been okay. Swap them around. Goaltending. Wallstead a 928. Hold the 913. So goaltending's actually been pretty good. However, take it easy. Good luck on a first-round exit, probably. We're going to give the team a little bit of time. They get another month to see if they can sort it out, start really stringing some wins together. Otherwise, yeah, we are looking at shuffling some stuff up, going with some veterans in these spots. I need me a beverage. And Kasparaitis fractures his jaw. He won't be out for too long, though, but my God, he can't stay healthy. Calle Olesen suffers a concussion. We are, we're dealing with some shit right now. We are dealing with some troubles. Let's get Risto out of there for now. We march on. This has not been a very good month for us. The injuries, the losses. Oleg Lazarev on waivers from Boston. Why did nobody claim him? 23, 78, I mean, yeah, former first-round pick. I will claim this boy. Like, goddamn. Why would no one else have claimed him? Buffalo strikes again. So, God, we've really fallen behind the Canucks here. Sutton's now our leading scorer. Something's just not quite working with this team. Kachuk's on 28 points now. 27 for Wright, 29 for Sutton. Panarin. Not crushing it, but not awful on 23 points in 38 games. McMichael on 23 points. Olesen on 22. 8 points for Patan. He's too far behind the pace. He'll be going down. Schneider has been a horrific disappointment this year. And Yamamoto's not really getting it done either. He's on pace to hit 30 points, but damn. And 16 points for Fisette, 6 for Ho, and 7 for Melanson, but Melanson's a -10. Alright. Alright. Yeah, some changes have to be made. Fisette's showing that he's a little bit ready for prime time. Hate to say it, though. Ho, Melanson, and Patrick, or excuse me, Patan, are going to get sent down. That trio. Which means Kostin and Arvidsson are coming up. No worries about waivers. It's not that I've never dabbled to be a pro, I just haven't done anything this year. Alright, so now we don't have a healthy scratch of a forward, but that's okay until we get the team set up. We honestly could... We could go with Panarin on that top line. Let's go Schneider, Fisette, Yamamoto. Go Kachuk, Wright, Sutton. We'll have Panarin, McMichael, Olsen again. And then the fourth line is now Klim Kostin with Nolan Patrick and Victor Arvidsson. So the veterans are in, and I'm sure they'll have power play time. Defensively, Kasparaitis is a bit of a concern. They are changing the green, yes. I just don't know when the update will be out. Man, Chychrun and McDonald aren't really working together here. We'll put Mevinov with Kasparaitis, Chychrun with McDonald. 919 for Holden and Wallstead. So we're getting good goaltending. Honestly, this is a team that really has the feeling that we could blow this out. Shout it down with the Samness. That's a name and a half. Thank you for the follow. Let's call up Adam Beckman as our healthy scratch. This is a team that we could realistically look at kind of blowing up sooner rather than later. As sad as that is, it might be something that we have to consider. Let's take out Spurgeon for Paré. We'll take out Tyler Myers for Bohinski. That works for me. And then defensively, excuse me, for the forwards, is there anybody that I wanted to get out of there? Nielsen is a low 6. Meach is a medium 6. Gudis is a medium 6, but they're both super low overalls. We got to get Pierce Tapper in there as a free agent signing. We almost have too many dudes for the job. I hate to say it, but I think the medium 9s are the ones that have to sit out. Username is a sickness and down. I got the reference, don't worry. I got the reference. Man, we got too many prospects here. Honestly, I'll just leave it for now. I'll leave it for now. There is a decent little chance here that instead of pushing for the playoffs, we could maybe strip away some pieces off of this team. Let's go through January. This needs to be a big month for us and a big month for quite a few players at this stage. Tristan Lennox hurts his hands. Or hand. Maybe not his hands. I don't know. Tristan, did you hurt multiple hands? Get Lennox back in there. They don't seem to have it this year. Schneider goes down to a knee injury. He'll be out for the rest of the month. We just don't seem to have it this year. Kasparaitis suffers another concussion. He'll be out for all of February. McIntyre suffers a concussion. Yakupov, herniated disc for our backup goalie. All of a sudden we fall apart. We're at 27, 23, and 2. The deadline is a little over a month away. We are currently in the playoff mix, but just being in the mix, I don't know if that's enough. Kasparaitis is hurt again, and to be honest, we might have to consider cashing out on Timofey Kasparaitis. He just hasn't taken off. And my God, he gets hurt constantly. Holden and Wallstead have held up their end of the bargain. Chychrun hasn't been great. McDonald is not Brandstrom. A lot of penalties from Medvedev there, too. Eric Chernak's disappointed a little bit this year. Niyazev hasn't been the answer. And Risto's barely played. Obviously, he has a bit of a morale crisis going on here. Sutton has 40 points in 52 games, 38 for Wright. Panarin on 34. Kachuk up to 41, so I mean, there's no denying that top line still works. Olesen on just 32 points. Yamamoto also not crushing it. Michael's looking okay. Schneider has been a horrific disappointment because of the penalty minutes in. Honestly, we might have to consider moving on from him. I could edit the fighting tendency, but I don't really want to. There's a chance I'm going to move on from him. He was clutch in the playoffs, but he can't stay out of the box. Victor Arvidsson has been trash in the games that he's gotten to play. Costin has been trash in the games that he's gotten to play. Nolan Patrick has been trash in the games that he's gotten to play. I think we're looking at selling here. And it could be selling right now before we even get to the deadline. Wow. All right, boys. Well, some of you are playing for your jobs here. Coaching change. We have the best coach we can possibly get in terms of rating. He's an A-plus coach. I'm not getting rid of the coach. It's down to the team to actually be able to perform, and right now they are very much not performing. Very much not performing. Just wanted to make that change again on the defensive side. This team has a month to figure it out. The reason why I'm not blowing it up right now, hey, if we keep losing, it might get us better draft odds. It's the only reason I'm not moving on from certain members of this team right now. It's like, why not keep them around if they're losing? If they turn it around, so be it. As Tyler Myers suffers a concussion in the AHL, we've won 3 in a row, make that 4 in a row, 5 in a row. Streak comes to an end. And a very, very good month of February has pushed us right back into the playoff hunt. 35, 24, and 2. As it stands, we're in a playoff spot. 9 wins in our last 10, but do we trust this team to get it done in the playoffs? Goaltending's been very solid, 917 and 920 save percentages. Defensively, Chychrun and McDonald have found their chemistry. Niyazev and Chernak have found some chemistry. Medvedev, of course, hasn't been playing with Kasperitis, but Risto's been better. Kachuk on 49 points in 61 games. Shane Wright on 55 and 53 for Sutton. Breadman's still looking good. McMichael's still doing pretty good in his role. Olesen's up to 44 points. Fisette has 27. Schneider with just 18. Yamamoto as well. He's been okay. And then Costin, 5 points is technically okay. That even the fourth line started to figure it. Everybody started to figure it out. So that is the question. Do we trust these guys? Or do we think this last month was a fluke? We play New Jersey and lose 5-2. We play Buffalo and win 4-2. We are 5 points ahead of Seattle, of LA, and we have a game at hand. We have to make a decision as to whether or not we're buying or selling right now. And I gotta be honest, I don't know if I trust this team at this stage. I don't know if I do. Because I mean, technically, the argument is we could sell like a son of a bitch and still make the playoffs. That is very much a possibility. We could sell and absolutely still make the playoffs. It's just, do we trust? Do we trust this team? I'm gonna go into this and explore our options. Thomas Chabot, he's 31. He's the top option. The Penguins are trying to flip away from Hellebuck. Provorov is also out there. Damn, is this all sim? Pretty much, yes. I mean, Thomas Chabot as a rental would be the guy I'd be looking at if I were to say, hey, we're buying. Obviously, we wouldn't give up Holden to get him. But Chabot would be that guy that I'd want to replace Niaziv as our guy here. Honestly, Lennox and Yonkman, we can move on, no problem there. I mean, God, you could even... I mean, again, I don't want to get rid of Schneider. It's just he takes so many goddamn penalties, but he was so good in the playoffs for us, too. 12 points in 18 games. At least in the first round, he was. Honestly, I think we have to sell Kasparaitis no matter what. But, I mean, Thomas Chabot would be the guy to go out and get if we were to blow it up. And then we have Wolf or Villette that we could use. Again, Yonkman as well. I don't really have much faith he'll develop. I could get Thomas Chabot fairly easily. I want Yonkman. I'm cool with giving him Villette or Wolf, if not both. Doesn't really bother me at all. I prefer to give up a forward here. Let's give up Beckman. Get them to retain on Chabot. Ottawa's made a trade. Is it for Chabot? It's not. This might go through. This might go through, man. Let's see. Yeah, the value is probably a little bit too much. Honestly, I really don't even need them to retain. It's just in case I wanted to make other moves. Let's just avoid the retention. Just avoid the retention. Safety net this with a little bit of value just in case. It's probably too much. Why retain on Chabot? I just said why, so probably didn't come through for you. I mean, honestly, this is pretty damn close to even as it is. Third rounder next year. That's a lot to give up when we're not even sure if that's exactly what we want to do. That is a lot to give up for someone who is surely going to be a rental. I'm not doing it. So with that, if we were to explore selling with this team, what would we have going on here? Tristan Lennox, for example, would really only fetch me a 7th. I'm not all that interested in doing any deals for 7ths right now. If we were to move Villette, second rounder, so I'd rather just keep him. Defensively, get McDonald's turned it around. Chernak turned it around a little bit. But man, you talk about the value if we were to get rid of Chernak. I mean, Farabee, Schmaltz, Kapanen, Pajot, Cahoon, Yarncroke, Appleton, Haig, Nelson. I'd almost rather just keep Chernak in that instance. If we were to move on from Chychrun. I mean, I can find deals on my own, but man, these deals aren't exactly blowing me away here. Get Ellie Tolvanen's $12 million back. I am not overly interested in these deals that are coming through, which will surprise nobody. I don't know why Jared Spurgeon has that much trade value, and they don't want to move him anyway. I think we have to do that Chabot deal, and we have to go for it. I think that's where we're at here. I think that's where we're at. I don't have the greatest amount of faith in this team right now, but I think we got to go for it. Thomas Chabot's still out there. Again, I am not willing to give up Holden or Lennox. I am willing to give up Yonkman. I'm also willing to give up Villette. I am also willing to give up Wolf. And we know that they're going to want even more on top of this. This could be where we move on from Kasparaitis, but at this point, I'm just going to keep him. But this could be where Jared Spurgeon's crazy value comes in. Let's do it. Thomas Chabot, welcome aboard. I was not expecting that. But for whatever reason, a very aging and heavily regressed Jared Spurgeon had a decent amount of value. So we got rid of some goalie prospects. That's not the end of the world. We have our tandem for years to come, essentially. Defensively, that medium elite was unlikely to develop. So I have a lot of questions. A lot. In regards to certain members of this team moving forward. But we'll do what we got to do. We built this team. We might as well go down swinging with them. And hey, if we fall short again, then we'll just see what happens. Maybe this offseason is the time. But our defense is now McDonald, Chabot, Chernak, Chychrun, probably Medvedev and Kasparaitis, if not outright Risto being there. I just still wonder about Kasparaitis, man. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. I want to see who is out there. That's high value. Apparently Ricard Raquel is. For some reason he turned into a monster. Dylan Strome, Nikita Gusev. Sounds like we really need forwards. Got hints. Looking for a certain type of player, and I'm not seeing it. Alright. Well, what we're looking for then, aside from the move we've already done, it's not going to be there. So I think we're good. So we'll add Thomas Chabot, who was the prize to be bought. Yes, I'm aware that was Sidney Crosby. We're going for it. Our team is our team. We get Thomas Chabot as a vet. He'll probably be gone at the end of the year. We have the cap space to easily pull it off. So the goaltending stays the same. The problem is, even Artemi Knyazov ended up being better by the end of the year. We could just carry 12 forwards, though, and still have the extra defender. So those will still be the lines. I mean, again, they're really competent lines. It's just... What exactly is going to happen here? We take Risto out for Kasperitis. He and Medvedev are a hell of a pairing. But... I mean, Chabot on the third pairing is not quite what I had in mind, but it might be what we have to do. He will have power play time, though. To be honest, the AHL, for the most part, it'll just be highest rated dudes end up in the lineup. Take out Myers for Pare. Getting Yamala on the third pair. Let's see what happens. Let's see where this team finishes. And if we made the right choice or not. And even then, if we did and we get to the playoffs, do I have any faith that this team will be good in the playoffs? Not really. But maybe I should, because they do keep winning games for the most part. No franchise player again this year, by the way. Goodness. Courtnall goes down to a sore foot. 41 wins. Medvedev goes down to an injured leg, but we have Risto to step in. Medvedev is back. Risto's got 5 points in 20 games. It's not a bad pace. Not at all. Yakupov comes back in the AHL. Tucker Courtnall's back. 44, 28, and 4. With just a handful of games to go. 6 to be exact, so a little bit more than a handful. But we have clinched a playoff spot. 4 points back of the Oilers. A division title might actually not be out of the realm of possibility, but we've made the playoffs. And this year we can thank some pretty strong goaltending for that to make up for our shortcomings. Alright, Medvedev and Chabot. That's not it. But Chychrun and McDonald have worked really well together. But I don't really have much of a choice, because Chabot really can't be on a higher line. It would mean Medvedev not being on the team. So we really don't want to break up McDonald and Chychrun, so that's just kind of the deal. That's just what the team is. Bernie Fisette must have power play time, because he's had a great year. He's done that without power play time? He's due for a big time boost next year. 38 points this year. And a fourth line role with no power play time. That's incredible. Let's wrap up this season then. Big game coming up against Edmonton. We play Washington first, though. And win 8-5. Back-to-back games against the Oilers. We could take the division title here if these go well. We lose 5-3. Well, rip the dream. Rip the dream. And we play Edmonton again. And we win. We're now 4 points back with a game at hand. We play Minnesota and we win. We're now above Vancouver. 2 points back of the Oilers. 2 games to go. We play Vegas. Kasperitis gets hurt again. Water is wet. We do beat Vegas 8-2, so our final game of the season is against Chicago. If we win and the Oilers lose, there is a chance we take the division title. Otherwise, we will be playing Vancouver. Who else in round 1? We win, but so do the Oilers. One more time, Kraken and Canucks. We cannot escape Vancouver. We simply can't. They will not go away. But we bounce back. 49 win season. We almost considered selling. We seriously considered selling. Yet here we are, back in the playoffs again. The Metro Division was the 2 New York teams, Philadelphia and New Jersey also made it. In the Central, you had Colorado, Minnesota, Arizona, and nobody else was even close. In the Atlantic, it's Florida, Buffalo, Toronto, and Detroit. Dude, congrats. A happy birthday to you in 34 minutes. So Florida was the top team in the league. We finished 6th in the league. That really shows how inconsistent this season was for us. We finished 6th in the league. Our offense was mid-table. Our goaltending was phenomenal. Our power play at 19% was top 5 in the league. Our penalty kill at 83% was mid-table. In terms of our production, Shane Wright led the way, 87 points in 82 games. It did not look like he or Sutton would hit point-per-game status, but they both did. Kachuk with 33 goals, 70 points. Panarin, 60 points at his advanced age. Olesen with 57 points. Connor McMichael with 53. 43 for Bernie Fisette, as well as Yamamoto. Schneider had 29 with 107 penalty minutes. Arvidsson, 17 points in 44 games. He was on about a 30-point pace. That's not that bad. Same for Nolan Patrick. Klim Kostin, really disappointed. Klim Kostin really disappointed. But we will likely give him a chance in the playoffs. Chabot finished with 11 points in 19 games as a member of the Kraken. Chikrin with 30 points, McDonald with 29, Chernak with 20, Medvedev 14, Kasparaitis played just 64 games. Ristolainen 6 points in 21 games, so we have some decisions to be made here. Holden had a really damn good season, though. I don't know if that's Vezina worthy, but it could be close. And he is our clear #1 heading into the postseason. As Jack Eichel, Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid were the only ones to break 100 points. Eichel with 56, Matthews with 53. Assist leader was Maxim Petrov, so there you go. 73 assists, good lord. Defensively, Erasmus Dahlin likely just won the Norris. Morgan Riley in Detroit. Goal-scoring king amongst defenders, Jamie Drysdale with 18. And for goalies, the winningest was Mikey DiPietro. Holden was right behind him, so was Nedeljkovic. The shutout king, DiPietro and Swayman. Swayman's in Montreal. My heart. And Holden may have just won the Vezina. If not, he's a finalist. Shesterkin's there. Spencer Knight's there. Israel Holden's got a decent shout for the Vezina. I don't think it'll give it to him, but technically he does have the highest save percentage amongst starting goaltenders. Because obviously we wouldn't consider Markstrom or Skinner starters. In the rookie race, Rich Sestito likely just won the Calder. We did have Bernie Fisette up there, though. So it ended up being a good season. But again, it's Vancouver ahead of us. And in terms of these lines, in terms of who plays, that's the big question. Kasparaitis is likely out. They tell who wins the Vezina. I mean, save percentage is often the way to go, but again, it's not a slam dunk. Damn. Nobody really fits that second pair. Nobody really does. We take out Risto for Niazev here. That was the drafting. We've actually drafted really well in this series. Really well indeed. It's going to have to be Chikrin, McDonald, Chernak, Niazev, Chabot, and Medvedev. It has to be. And honestly, the forward lines can stay the same as well. Sutton's now showing up as a 98, by the way. And then in the AHL, I'd imagine they're closing in on a playoff spot. I'd imagine they're playoff bound. I have no excuse not to be. That's one hell of a team. Let's get Beckman out of there for Tapper. I'll see a 73 in Peterson, but he's worth having in there. Not everybody's going to get to play, unfortunately, because of how the season's panned out, but that's okay. Let's get the confirmation. We already know what's coming up. By the way, they won 63 games, did the AHL club. One more time. Vancouver and Seattle. Confirmed. We also have the Battle of Alberta in round 1. Colorado plays Vegas. Minnesota plays Arizona. In the East, it is Florida, New Jersey, Buffalo, Toronto, Islanders, Red Wings, Rangers, and Flyers. I cannot escape the Vancouver Canucks to save my damn life.